Hi there, welcome to Do That at Home. We're in the backyard today talking about concrete anchors. My name is Dean, and I've had several questions over the years about how to install different types of concrete anchors. There's many people who are DIYers, and they have a little bit of trouble, a little bit of fear involved with putting in concrete anchors. It can be a little intimidating. There is a bit of a learning curve. We're going to go through several of them today, several of the most popular ones. There are others out there, but these are the ones that you're typically going to run into at any big box store, hardware store, anything like that. And so we're going to get started, just kind of work our way through them, and we'll install each one. I've got a concrete slab that I've poured a little while ago, some lumber that we're going to attach to it in many different ways, and, and we'll show you how to do that. Let's get started. First one here is just a plastic sleeve anchor. Really simple design. There's actually two kinds. One is not necessarily designed for concrete, however it works very well if you have, say a basement wall or something that's, or a concrete wall that you want to hang some pictures on or something like that. The other one is actually designed for concrete. A little, maybe a little trickier to use. It can spin, the hole has to be just right. Like I said, these are actually designed for a hollow wall, used a lot in plaster and drywall, things of that nature. The trouble that I see with these is they're not super strong, and I've seen many people try to hang, say, a handrail on a staircase using these, and I have yet to see them not fail. They just simply don't work. We'll get into some more anchors that are a little better uses for that. But for right now, these are great for real low, less weight, smaller weight items, say like hanging pictures, that sort of thing. And I'll just show you how they work. And this one, I'm not going to use the lumber. This one just goes directly into the concrete, uses a 1/4 inch concrete bit. Spin onto there. Tighten that up. This is my hammer drill. I've got it set on the hammer setting, which is very important. So hammer drills oftentimes have just a drill setting that won't necessarily get through concrete. It will over time, but you may burn up some concrete bits. The hammer drill is the method you want to use. So we're just going to go ahead and drill to this depth, roughly in that about an inch, 1 1/4 inches, and we'll do that now. And I'm going to actually drill 2 of them so I can show you both anchors going in. Alright, couple simple holes. We'll brush that away. That one simply places in there. The other one does the same thing. And so we'll take just a simple hammer and we just simply pound them in. And then your screw, pound those both in, and your screw, I didn't drill that one quite deep enough, that's okay. And then you take just a simple machine screw or drywall screw, anything like that, can just spin right in there. I don't happen to have any with me. That was bad planning on my part. And those are ready to go. Super simple. The next step up, if we want to a little more strength on our concrete anchors, is called a sleeve anchor, and these ones are very powerful. These are great. They require a slightly larger drill bit. We're going to go to a 3/8 inch drill bit, and all of these anchors, when you buy them, typically will tell you on the packaging what size drill bit is best. Okay. Yep. Oh, you're all right. So for our sleeve anchor, go ahead and use this piece of plywood here, and we can just drill right through the plywood and into the concrete. first thing I'm going to do with this, because I messed up on this one, let's go ahead and make sure we get this to the right depth. So we'll take this. This is our sleeve anchor. It needs to be buried to at least that depth. I like to go about a ½ inch more if I can. Got a little roll of tape here, and a really, really simple way to know that you're going deep enough is to simply put a piece of tape on your drill bit. Make sure you go down at least that far. And that'll bring us to our desired depth. Go ahead and take this right through the material, right into the concrete. Again, I'll use a little hammer, just light taps. We'll tap that one in there. And I will take my socket wrench and simply tighten that up. And that's not going anywhere. That's a great anchor. It's a very solid anchor and simple to use. I hope that helps. Alright, let's move on. This is a similar anchor. This is similar to a sleeve anchor, however this is a little bit different. This is called a wedge anchor, and like I said, it's very, very similar. There's two different variations. One comes just as it is, and the other one has a little machine screw in it, just for smaller items, but it's the same principle. Essentially with the sleeve anchor from earlier, it squeezes the whole thing and presses out on the concrete to give it its holding strength. This is very similar, except this has a bit that will pull up into the sleeve. The nice thing about this is you've got a longer, if you have thicker material to use, you have a longer thread here that you can tighten down on. So I'll show you how that one goes. Very simple. And pop that one in there. Light taps of the hammer. Make sure you get into the concrete. And now what you've got, we'll take a nut and spin that on there, and as you tighten the nut to the material, that will pull up and fix in there. Okay, so that's our wedge anchor. The next one we have is a nail anchor, and it's just what it sounds like. It's a sleeve, a nail on it. We're going to drill a hole and place that through the material, and then just pound set that nail. These are great. I use them a lot for if I'm putting up stucco, lath behind the stucco. It's a really great tool for that. Uses that 1/4 inch bit that we have used before. And what I like to do with these, and with several of these anchors, actually with any of these anchors, a good idea is to use some adhesive in them. I didn't use them on the first ones. We're just kind of doing some instructional stuff here. But with these ones, I like to use it. It gives it just enough more pull-out strength. I drill that hole to the approximate depth that we need, and I'll just take and squirt some of that adhesive right into the hole. Like I said, you can use adhesive on any of these. It helps for many of them. Tap that one in lightly, get it down to the material that you want to adhere to the concrete, and then give it a good swift blows, and it'll cinch right up. So that is a great anchor to use. Next, and this is a very common one. These are used an awful lot in home building if we're building walls on a concrete floor. It's just a simple screw anchor. This is a brand name one. This is a Tapcon, they call it. It comes with its own. That's not true. You have to buy a separate drill bit that is a specific size for the Tapcons, but they're a few dollars. They're great. They last a long time. And Tapcons come in a few different sizes, a couple different sizes that are popular, and you only have to buy one drill bit to make most of them work, depending on the size you get. Now this one I do like to measure, because with screw anchors, you're going to be putting a lot of torque on this head to spin it down into the concrete. If you don't have that hole deep enough, the head does snap off from time to time. So I'm going to make sure I just measure. I want to get that drill bit almost all the way in, just to make sure I have that extra ½ an inch or so I don't spin that head off. Just go ahead and right through the material. Plenty deep. We'll get our screw in there. Again, you can use adhesive on this if you like. It does help a little bit. Just spin that one all the way flush. A great anchor, super quick. Very, very popular, common anchor. Nice to use. Nice to use. All right, the next one we have. This is a peg anchor, and this one is very, very simple. Simply drill a hole, pound it in. The pull-out strength, the shear strength is pretty good on these. The pull-out strength is a little bit not as good. It's dependent more on the strength of your concrete. So if you have really brittle concrete, exterior concrete, things like that, that can get brittle over time. These might not be the best solution for your needs, but for new concrete it's great, and for just a simple quick anchor, this is a great one to use. This one I will make sure that I use adhesive for. 1/4 inch bit. Go ahead and just simply again, I want to make sure that hole is deep enough for that anchor. I'm going to use some adhesive on this one. It does help with the strength, pull-out strength, excuse me. And simply place that in the hole and pound like crazy. And that's not going anywhere for a long time. It's a good anchor. All right, the next one we have, is a metal sleeve anchor, and this is used primarily for use with lag bolts. Oftentimes you'll see them on a deck footing or something like that, where you're going into an existing concrete slab, and you need some lag screws, some big hardware to hold that lumber in place. Of course, we're just using some simple plywood today. This uses a larger drill bit. This is the ½ inch drill bit that we need for this one. Go ahead and pop that one on here. Oops. Alright, you'll notice I'm using a corded hammer drill. There are many hammer drills available. Many of them today are cordless. I don't tend to use my cordless one, especially if I'm doing a lot of anchors. It tends to eat up the battery quite a bit. I do recommend a corded one, but it's personal choice, no problem. The corded ones are also much less expensive. If you're only going to be doing this a few times, maybe about $60, you can get one of these. Cheap, easy, and reliable, and you're not going to run out of batteries. Again, the sleeve anchor, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go away from the plywood just to show you this. This can go directly into concrete. a little deeper than I needed to go, but you get the idea. This one simply slides in. Oops. Anyway, slides into that, sits in there. We take our lag bolt. I like to give it just a little tap. Make sure that anchor's seated. And we'll grab our socket wrench. Put your material on there and just start twisting that in there. You can go as deep as you need to go. I'm sorry, you can go as deep as your concrete hole will let you. As long as you're seated in that anchor in there is expanding out into that concrete and gives it its strength. Also a good one to use adhesive for. I should have. I didn't. You get the idea. That's a good anchor. It's a great anchor for outdoor use. Works very well for that. All right, next one in similar fashion, although this one is oftentimes used indoors. This is a drop grip anchor. These are fairly common. It has good holding strength. Trick is you need this tool. It's a tool that helps you set the anchor. We're going to go ahead and set the depth on this one. So we know how this doesn't need any extra depth at the bottom. Maybe a little is okay, maybe a 1/4 inch. But I don't want to sink this one in too far. I want to have a good footing, so I'll put my tape on there, a 1/2 inch drill bit. This one has a fluted edge on one side. That goes in first. That goes in the bottom. It's a drop grip. Simply drop it in. Take your tool, the specialty tool, and take that, and what's this going to do? This is going to drive a wedge down into that fluted part there and give it its strength. So just a couple good whacks, and that is solid. You can take your bolt and screw that in. Tighten it up with a socket wrench, whatever you need. It's not going anywhere. Awesome. All right, next, last but not least, we have our powder fastener anchors, and these are, we're gonna get rid of the drill. We don't need that anymore. And we do bring out a specialty tool. This is your powder fastener installer. This is by far the most fun for me to install. This is used generally for holding things on a horizontal surface you don't want to move back and forth. It has very little pull-out strength. You can take a pry bar and just pop these right out. But this is super fast for installing walls in a concrete basement. Very simple to use. This tool, I think, is about $40, give or take, at any big box stores, maybe $40 or $50. If you're going to be using it a lot, it's great to have. Take the nail. They just come with little nails. I'm sorry, the tool doesn't. You have to buy the separate nails. It's just a little rubber piece, rubber, plastic, whatever that is. Poke that in there. Take your charge. It's an explosive charge. And load that up in the top. Put that exactly where you want it, lower the handle, hold it down, and just give this a good solid whack on top. And that has fired that nail through the wood, through the concrete, and given it a solid hold. All you have left over, your little expelled, or your spent charge, throw that away, and it's not going anywhere. That's kind of our roundup of cement anchors. I hope that helps to demystify some of the questions about concrete anchors in the DIY world. Most of them are very simple to install. It can be, like I said, very intimidating to get started on those, and it does cause a little bit of trepidation in getting started on some of those projects. So that's all we've got for you right now. More to come. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe. See more on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us at Do That at Home. Have a great day.